Well, our conclusion is that both Israel and Palestine and the region will benefit from ending the conflict between the two sides, the Israelis and the Palestinians, and turning more resources to building the economies of the region, to create, we believe, welfare states for the Israelis, for the Palestinians, and for the rest of the region.
It was really a common understanding from the steering committee and from other members who participated in the first meeting that through economy we can influence the political situation. There was a common understanding between the whole group that to address the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and to use their influence through economic analysis to prove that it is possible to address this conflict and solve it.
We started with economy, but we need at that time what is our view on political issue. So we decided to write a paper, two-page paper on political guidelines.
Special research have been made on very delicate topics like the refugees, Jerusalem, and other issues. This is for sure something very interesting.
It was difficult. It took us several months, and we agreed that we accept basically that there are two sides living in this area between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River, and that the two-state solution, that is two sovereigns who will live side by side, is our approach to solving the conflict.
The idea is to find the relations between Israel and the future Palestinian state through the economy, through the trade, through the industry, through infrastructure and other ideas, basically in order to create a better future for the two states.
You have to change the spirit of the population, the mind, and it is not easy, so it takes time. But now, when you discuss with Palestinian and Israeli in the majority, they agree on the two-state solution, they agree.
It is very difficult to convince both Israelis and Palestinians that this is the way forward, that we have to continue and talk to each other and meet each other and not boycott each other, not ignore each other. This is difficult. This is difficult especially for the Palestinians, but also among some Israelis. And we, in spite of these difficulties, maintain a working relationship and warm relationship between the experts on the two sides.
We were able to create a very professional group of experts, which has both relations of economists, experts, but also we are bringing into the scene officials from both sides on the private capacity as observers, so they can actually percolate our ideas into the system, and at the same time they can dialogue between themselves about things that otherwise, specifically during the different crises, they could have not.
We managed to discuss the difficult issues like Jerusalem, refugees, etc., with the presence of officials from the two sides who might not share with us their positions, but they listen and they are appreciative and they want to come.
We are looking at things very, very straightforward, based on the assumption that eventually there will be two states.
This group are believers in peace, and this group for the last day will try to defend the option of peace and try to defend the two-state solution and work together, sending a clear message that Israeli Palestinians can work together, can think together, and can come up with very concrete, constructive ideas to live together for peace and for development and for cooperation.
The Aix Group has 5 people in its steering committee. Our chairman is the person who initiated the project almost 10 years ago. It's Professor Gilbert Benayoun, who is an economist from the University of Aix-Provence, who was born in Morocco and emigrated to France when he was 20 or something like this. 10 years ago, he organized a conference in his university. From at the end of the conference, we decided that we want to have a working group that will continue to make inquiries about the region, about Israel and Palestine, etc., etc.
Ari Arnon, a professor, believer in peace, an economist, but open-minded in politics, and he is my partner. He is the coordinator from the Israeli side. I am the coordinator from the Palestinian side.
Said Bamia was born in Jaffa, and as a young kid became a refugee in Lebanon. And we met in the Aix Group and became personally very good friends.
Ron Pondak, Director General of Perez Center when we started, historian, politician, professional, open-minded, a clever person, and a believer.
Then we have Dr. Samir Hasboun, who has a PhD from a university in Czechoslovakia, and he's now the head of the Chamber of Commerce in the Bethlehem area and very active in economic affairs in this region.
We have to understand each other, and we have to put ourselves in each other's shoes, trying to understand the thinking of the Israelis, as hoping also that the Israelis to put themselves in our shoes and understand the thinking and suffering of the Palestinian. And it's for the interest of all, strategic interest for Israelis, strategic interest for the Palestinian, is to have a Palestinian independent state on the 67 occupied territory, including East Jerusalem, at the capital of the Palestinian state, living together, cooperating together, believing in peace and believing in mutual interests.